Yay, we did it! Welcome to Get Your Chocolate On at Home edition. And today we're offering a home concert featuring violinist Michael Jamanis. But before I bring Michael on, I wanted to take a moment to talk with you about sheltering in and quarantining. And here's one of the things that I'm learning is that I actually need more mental health and support during this quarantine than I thought. So like many of you, I started off thinking, oh, I love this in some way, and I'm doing all this stuff, I'm being productive, I'm, walking with my favorite television walking program 3 times a day, and then ultimately the stress of it accumulated and I couldn't sleep. And of course, when you don't get enough sleep, everything is hard, right? So I just want to encourage you to be gentle with yourself. Instead of taking a half hour for lunch, take an hour and a half. Instead of saying, whatever you can do to give yourself just a little more spaciousness is worth it. So now, April is National Poetry Month, and I'm very excited to share with you poems by 3 amazing poets. And I wanted to bring on my friend, my husband, one of my creative partners, Michael Jamanis. Michael, come on. So
I don't know if we're on.
Michael doesn't know if we're live, but we're gonna.
People are watching. I don't know.
So we are on live. So
I don't know.
Michael, can you just come on over?
I don't know where the video is, though.
And know that those people who get it will get it, and they'll eventually find us.
Really?
So for the 2 people watching, thank you for joining us. And for those of you who want to catch it
Hello,
again.
everybody. How do you know 2 people are watching?
You told me.
Oh, okay. It's very hard to find.
Right. But eventually people will find it. Okay. So it's a home concert, so
I'm
maybe...
trying to flip that off.
So I want to start off by talking about this first piece we're going to do today. It's a beautiful poem by Robert Hayden. So Robert Hayden was the first U.S. Poet Laureate. He's the first African American to hold that title. And he is let's call him a gentle lion in the canon of African American letters. So this poem by Robert Hayden is called Frederick Douglass. So that's where we're going to start. Anything you want to say?
Yes, because this kind of was inspired at a Beethoven performance we gave a couple weeks ago, actually about a month and a half ago. And we were performing a piano trio in C minor by Beethoven. I was performing with my mom on piano and my dear friend Thor Sigurdsson on cello. And so...
It was beautiful.
Thank you.
It was beautiful.
And so I took snippets from the C minor trio, which seemed to fit very appropriately in with this poem. So it's inspired by that C minor piano trio. So you'll hear little quotations from it.
So welcome everybody. And now we'll be improvising and seeing what happens. When it is finally ours, this freedom, this liberty, this beautiful and terrible thing, needful to man as air, usable as earth. When it belongs at last to all, when it is truly instinct, brain matter, diastole, systole, reflex action. When it is finally one, when it is more than the gaudy mumbo jumbo of politicians, or slave, this Negro beaten to his knees, exiled, visioning a world where none is lonely, none hunted, alien. This man, superb in love and logic, this man shall be remembered. Oh, not with rhetoric, statues is rhetoric, not with legends and poems and wreaths of bronze alone, but with the lives grown out of his life. The lives fleshing the dream of this beautiful, needful thing. Thank you.
Thank you. That felt good.
Such a beautiful poem.
And it's nice to do it right here in our living room.
Yeah.
I don't know. Unfortunately, you can't see the two chocolate labs.
That's true. We are getting our chocolate on with the chocolate
I
labs.
could give a little pan around.
But then, how about at the end?
Okay.
Because
They're still there.
Right. Well, also,
How are we doing?
poor Michael's handling all the tech today. So I don't want to overtax him by having him move the phone and then have to try to redo it.
Tech and me do not go well, although I'm getting better at it in this environment.
So, this next piece I want to do is from Rita Dove's collection. It's a book called Sonata Mulatica. And in this collection of poems, it focuses on Beethoven, and who, of course, you've heard of, and George Bridgetower, who, of course, you probably have not heard of.
Many people have not heard of Bridgetower.
Many people have not heard of him. So,
I didn't.
did you want to say a little bit about Bridgetower? Maybe you could...
You have the nice microphone.
Exactly. I want to make sure everybody can hear you.
Well, I really don't know too much about Bridgetower. You've been doing all the reading.
That's true.
But the thing is, we know a lot about... I've been performing all of Beethoven's violin sonatas. That was a cycle that my mom and I wanted to do. And so one of the sonatas, one of the most famous sonatas in the violin and piano repertoire is the Kreutzer Sonata by Beethoven. When you dive a little further into it, you realize that originally it was not dedicated to Kreutzer, that it was dedicated to a violinist who had African descent.
Yes.
And mulatto in character.
Whose mother was, I think, Polish.
Polish.
What is now Poland.
And so, and his name's George Bridgetower. And Beethoven had every intention to dedicate the Kreutzer Sonata to Bridgetower.
So it would have been the Bridgetower Sonata.
Yeah, and they got in an argument after actually it was premiered. They premiered it.
Bridgetower premiered it.
He actually sight read it.
And
that's the word.
Really
on the street.
hard.
And it was like an 8 a.m. concert.
7 a.m.
7 a.m. Okay. And
who does a concert at 7 a.m., Michael?
I don't know.
What is that about?
Well,
I don't know. Do you know anything about why they would have a concert
I have no
so
idea.
early?
I have no idea. I know I did a lesson at 8 a.m. this morning, but
that was with someone in Hong Kong.
That was with someone in Hong Kong. Okay. Then they got in a fight. They got in an argument over a woman.
Unfortunately.
I think Bridgetower may have offended one of Beethoven's friends, and he took offense, and he decided to scribble out the dedication to Bridgetower. It is not the Sonatica Melodica.
Right.
For Bridgetower, then he took the name, the most famous violinist of the day, Rudolf Kreutzer, dedicated it to him. And from what word has it, Kreutzer never really even performed the piece.
No, there's actually a quote for him. Right, there's a quote for him saying that it can't be played.
Right.
But Bridgetower debuted it and played it.
And we played it earlier this year.
And of course, Michael played it.
Well, my mom, on the opening of the concert series, she says, "What sonatas do you want to play?" Well, let's do the Kreutzer. That's how my mom is. So, but then we thought, okay, let's look a little further down the line. How can we create more out of this Bridge Tower Beethoven controversy, conflict, friendship, everything that seems to be a very much a part of what life is. There's a lot of juiciness there. So of course, Dr. Kemp wants to explore it further.
Juicy. And we do this Black History Month. We did this in February.
We did the yes, we did. Did we?
You didn't do the Kreutzer in February.
I didn't do the Kreutzer.
But we did but you did Beethoven in February.
And we also did Frederick Douglass at the Brightside performance.
Right.
For Transformation.
So ever since this happened, well, since Michael told me about Bridge Tower being the original person to whom Beethoven had dedicated the sonata, and of course there's a whole lot of conversation about, well, was Beethoven Black? How Black was he? He was called the Moor by some people behind his back because of the way he looked. I sort of been following, very lightly the whole Beethoven. Is it 250th anniversary?
Yes. 250, yes. In 1770.
Okay.
2020.
So I've been following it kind of lightly. But when I found out about this relationship he had with a violinist of African descent, I got a lot more interested. And when I found out that Rita Dove got so interested that she that she wrote this entire book called Sonata Mulatica, which is, of course, what the sonata would have been called if Beethoven hadn't got upset with Bridge Tower. So anyway, we're going to do a poem from Rita Dove's collection, Sonata Mulatica. And after I do the poem, Michael Jamanis is going to play a meditation that he created that I thought was just very lovely and that would go well with this piece. So
you've never put it to this piece.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and
I might start it while you're reading.
I'm actually going to read something from Rita Dove's collection called Ludwig van Beethoven's Return to Vienna, because this poem really humanized Beethoven for me, and it just gave me some insight into his music. So Michael's heard me read it before, but he's never played to it before.
Am I playing to this?
So I think that you should listen to it.
I will.
And then play one of your meditations.
Okay, now the meditations are just going to be probably like improvised.
Yes.
And I want to say that they were kind of an outgrowth and a response to the listen when we got stuck listening to the world news one night.
Yeah.
And so I sat down and played my violin afterwards, which is such a healing
medicine.
Yes, it's medicinal, healing medicine to have access to.
Yes.
Especially at this time.
So I will share this poem.
Okay.
And then you will share some medicine.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So you're dealing with a really beautiful, confident, and very generous person who's willing to improvise in the moment. So, and shout out to Francis Wong, who always leads the way with improvisation.
Channeling.
All right, so Ludwig van Beethoven's Return to Vienna. 3 miles from my adopted city lies a village where I came to peace. The world there was a calm place, even the great Danube, no more than a pale ribbon tossed onto the landscape by a careless girl's hand. Into this stillness, I had been ordered to recover. The hills were gold with late summer. My rooms were 2, plus a small kitchen, situated upstairs in the back of a cottage, at the end of the Herrengasse. From my window, I could see onto the courtyard, where a linden tree twined skyward, leafy umbilicus canted toward light, warped in the very act of yearning. and I would feed on the sun, as if that alone would dismantle the silence around me. At first I raged. Then music raged in me, rising so swiftly I could not write quickly enough. To ease the roiling, I would stop to light a lamp, and whatever I'd missed, larks flying to nest, church bells, the shepherds home toward evening song, rushed in, and I would rage again. I am by nature a conflagration. I would rather leap than sit and be looked at. So when my proud city spread her gypsy skirts, I re-entered, burning towards her greater constant light. Call me rough, ill-tempered, slovenly. I tell you, every tenderness I have ever known has been nothing but thwarted violence, an ache so permanent and deep the lightest touch awakens it. It is impossible to care enough. I've returned with the Second Symphony and 15 piano variations, which I've named Prometheus, after the rogue Titan, the half a god who knew the worst sin is to take what cannot be given back. I smile and I bow, and the world is loud. And though I dare not lean in to shout, see, I am deaf, I also can't stop listening. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Never heard that poem before. So that was kind of, you threw me off.
I did.
I guess that's the nature of improvisation.
That
To keep
is.
things fresh and new and
And
creative.
Is there anything in the poem that really struck you?
Well, I think just the listening and not hearing
Yeah.
thing. I mean, that was pretty, a lot of impact. How, you're always listening and you can't hear.
Yeah.
Whew.
Can't you see?
And
Can you
just
not
the
see? I'm
acceptance
deaf.
and the lack of acceptance, and then also the reference to the landscape
Yeah.
and the nature. So there was a lot of powerful things. I
Yeah.
mean, it was a real trip.
It really was, because it started off with this very calm, and I've been sent to this little village so I can, recover myself, get some peace. But I'm writing. He's writing furiously. He's come back with 14 piano variations and another symphony. This is supposed to be his resting time. And then she said that line about taking what can never be given back. Mm-hmm. I don't know, that line really struck me, because I guess it made me think about things like sexual assault. Like, once you take it, there's no undoing it. You can't give it back what you took, or something like really fundamental like that, a piece of someone's childhood maybe. So, and that he called it Prometheus, and Prometheus is always rolling a boulder up a hill, but he never get it all the way up. It always goes back down. So that was Rita Dove interpreting Beethoven, and then that was Michael interpreting Rita Dove interpreting Beethoven.
Yeah.
You're in good company.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we're almost at our time.
Okay.
So this last piece is from Mary Oliver. Unless you wanted to, did you want to do another Beethoven?
No. I mean, I think the Mary Oliver piece is beautiful.
It is really beautiful.
I think it's something everyone should hear right now.
Oh, good point. Good point. So this is a famous Mary Oliver poem that Michael and I both really love, and that we have recorded versions of and, performed versions of lots of times, but we haven't done it in a long time. Mm-hmm. So this is Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. Did you want to say anything?
You want me to start?
Mm-hmm. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about your despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese high in the clean blue air are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. That was Mary Oliver, Wild Geese. Music improvised by Mike. If you want to hear more of Michael's music and keep in touch with what he's doing, where can people find you?
Well, I have a website, michaeljamanis.com, and that's going to be continually developed.
All right, all right.
And
we're on Facebook because these folks.
Oh, on Facebook. Also, the Jamanis Project. That's a Facebook page. I'd love it if you'd all go and like that page, and I'll be posting videos and all sorts of inspirational and educational tools for violin.
Awesome. So go to the Jamanis Project. We'll make sure we put that in the a link or something in the comments about it. And so here we are at our, I think this is our 4th session of Get Your Chocolate On under quarantine, and our first house concert. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing everything, for setting up the tech. My daughter, the producer, had to go to work today. She has an essential job. So we were on our own.
Yes. Oh, you want to see the dogs?
Oh, now we have to show you the Get Your Chocolate On dogs, who are, of course, chocolate labs. Oh. So this gentle creature, aka the Godfather, the Prince, also known as Jake, is taking a nap, which is really nice. He's 14. He does that a lot. This creature is the Sentinel, the Princess, La Princesa, also known as Jessie, the Terror, because she has torn up lots of things. She's also taking a nap. So I guess that means that Michael's music puts dogs to sleep. So maybe...
And your presence, Dr. Kent.
Oh, okay.
I know Jake loves your sessions.
That's true.
Jake certainly loves them.
Jake does love to come in when I'm doing webinars and teaching. It's true.
And I think quite a few people could not find this page today, so we will post it.
Yes.
We will definitely post it.
All over the place.
Yes, we will.
And if you'd like to hear more house concerts with our special guest, let us know. We'll try to get him on our schedule. He does live here, but he's also teaching a lot.
I'm teaching a lot, yes. I'm teaching a lot. And I will be giving some more house concerts with my mom as well. I'll do some Facebook Live events with her in the coming month. So watch for those, and we will have our special guest, Dr. Kemp, on those.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I guess we are special guesting on each other's projects.
That's a good thing.
It is a good thing. It is a good thing. So we'll be in touch. Leave us comments. Leave us love. We appreciate you. Thank you for showing up today, and we'll see you next week. Until then, remember to have a little bit of chocolate. Bye.
It's always good.